Hello Earth. How are you? Hope you all are safe at your home. Today, in the beginning, we are going to discuss microbiology paper 503 syllabus of molecular biology and genetic engineering. In this particular lecture, we are going to discuss and study few of the basic history and concepts of genetics. Right? So we will be discussing various key terminologies over here. First, to begin with, gene. What is gene? Gene is the shortest segment of DNA which is responsible for expression of its specific characters. Now, why it is the shortest segment? Wherever you are taking the whole DNA, there are small fragments which are responsible for expression. Not each and every piece of the DNA is expressing itself. This is very important to know. But the one which is expressing and which are having some fruitful functions are considered to be genes. Gene is also called as the basic unit of heredity, right? Why it is basic unit of heredity? Because from one generation to another generation, characters are being transferred. It is the small DNA segment that determines a biological character of an organism. Gene is situated on chromosomes. This can be asked in one marker or MCQs that what is the specific location of the genes. So Mendel used the word gene, but first he considered them as elementi or element, but then later on came to know that they are the one factors which are responsible for transmission of characters. The word factor was given by Carl Lorenz, right? So next, what we are going to study is genome. What is genome? Genome is the total genetic composition of an organism, right? Whenever we are saying that genome means all the sets of genes are considered inside that. Next word is allele. What is allele? The two genes that occupy the same position on homologous chromosome. Now, what is homologous chromosome? Homo means similar and logos means location. The gene which is located on a homologous chromosome on the same position, but that is not the gene itself. It is the another form of or another version of the gene that is considered to be the allele. So in short, you can say that alleles are the different versions of the gene. Next is locus. What is locus or position, right? A fixed location on a strand of DNA where gene or one or of its allele is located is termed as locus. So it may be said that on a particular locus, a particular gene or a allele is located. Next word comes, that is dominant allele. What is dominant? Dominant means one which is expressing itself, right? And recessive means which is not expressing itself. That means it is suppressed by something. It will be suppressed by something, that is, it will be suppressed by dominant allele. Out of the two alleles, that is two another forms of genes, the one that is capable of expressing itself by hiding or suppressing its contrasting allele is known as dominant allele. Dominant allele is the allele that expresses itself on the same form whether present on the homozygous or heterozygous condition. Homozygous means originated from the similar kind of zygous, and heterozygous means different. It is represented by the capital T, that is dominant allele for tallness. Now you might have previously studied about tallness, dwarfness, the Mendel's experiment, which we will be studying in another lecture, right? So the gene which is responsible for tallness, that is capital T, and which is responsible for shortness, here we will use Polish language, so we will say the word dwarf. So capital T represents the tallness, that is the gene of dominant, and small t, that will be of dwarfness. Next is recessive allele. You might be aware that once we are saying dominant, the recessive is the opposite, as I already discussed. Out of the two alleles, the one that is being suppressed by alternative allele is called repressive allele. Here again, small t, that is for dwarfness. Next is homozygous. A diploid individual carrying two identical allele. Here, two identical word is very much important, is known as homozygous. It is pure for a trait or a character. Whenever you are saying homozygous, means it will be mainly pure. Capital T and capital T are two identical alleles for tallness. If it is capital T and capital T, that means the offsprings will be tall. The homozygous organisms, when self-pollinated or inbred, always gives rise to true breeding homozygous forms. Means if capital T and capital T is crossed, or if small t and small t, that is responsible for tallness, and tallness is crossed, you will get tallness. That is again true breeding. And if it is small t and small t, that means dwarf and dwarf plants are crossed, you will get again dwarf plants. Next is heterozygous. A diploid individual carrying two different alleles is known as heterozygous or hybrid. Two different alleles, that means capital T and small t. Gene will be same or allele will be same, but it will be having both the characters, that is of tallness and of dwarfness, that is capital T and small t. This term was proposed by Batson and Saunders in 1902 for a zygote or a diploid individual developed from it which carries both factors or both pair of alleles. Next word is hemizygous. Hemi, that means when a genotype is determined by single gene or a factor, only one will be expressing itself, that will be termed as hemizygous. Next is genotype. Two words we will be studying here parallel, genotype and phenotype. Pheno, that means physical, it is related to physical. So whatever appearance will be there, that will be considered as phenotype, and whatever the expression behind that phenotypic change will be there, that is termed as genotype. So a genotype is a genetic expression of an organism. The term was proposed by Johannesson in 1909 for heredity and genetic constitution of an individual. Genotype is the genetic constitution of an organism. For plants, capital T and capital D, that is tallness, this, yes, tallness and dwarfness, and here it will be dwarf, are different genotypes. The genotype ratio of F2 in monohybrid cross is 1:2:3, and it is observable phenomenon. We can see that whatever changes will be appearing. Next is phenotype. It is physical or observable characters. Now in microbiology, in both the years we have discussed many times the word morphology. Morphology means the observable characters, size, shape and structure particular. So the characters which can be observed like skin color, eye color, these all things are called phenotypic. But always remember, this phenotypic appearance is always due to some or the other changes in the genotype. Next is character. Now you all are aware of this word. Character building is there. Describe the characteristics of particular things. So what is character? It refers to the general features of the organism. Suppose in TY microbiology is there. So what is the peculiar character of this? That all TY students are there, they are of microbiology. So that is particular character. Next is characters are also divided into various types. That is dominant character. So you all might be aware and you all are smart enough that what is dominant character? The characters which expresses itself in all the members of the first filial generation. First filial generation means whenever for the first time we are crossing the parent, the generation which we get, that is termed as first filial generation, from a cross between true to pure breeding parents, differing in respect of the characters called dominant character. Next is recessive. Recessive, you again will get the word the suppressed characters which do not appear or which do not get chance of expressing itself, but they are present. This is very important. Suppose if I say that capital T and small t is there in a particular plant, but if the plant is tall, but that doesn't mean that it does not have characteristics of shortness or dwarfness. It will be present, but it is just not expressing. Next is parental generation. The word itself describes the plants used as parents in a cross are said to be represent parental generation. Capital P, we generally design parental generation as capital P. again I am repeating that please go through your previous year syllabus, your school syllabus, because all these things you have already been gone through there, you have studied it, but here we are going to just brushing up, I'm brushing up your concepts so that it will be easier for you to understand the other topics. It is never such that whatever you have learned in school, that was up till school, in college something new is there. Of course something new is there, but the base is always the same. You all might be aware that in microbiology we all keep on saying you that keep revising previous syllabus. Why? Because that is coming again and again in some or the other form. So it is very important. So I just request you all that after watching this video, after watching this lecture, just once take out your old books, just go through it. If you don't have any books, it's okay, just Google it, or just use the reference books which will be there with you. You can use various e-books, start preparing the notes. It is always such that once you watch the video, you will feel that yes, I know each and everything whatever is said by the madam in this video, but after 2 hours, 2 days, 5 days, 1 week, you will forget. So better whenever you are watching video, one time you watch it completely, then another time for revision you take a book, pen, and start noting down the points whatever you feel that it is important for you. For suppose you are 100 students, then for all 100 students it will be different important points will be there. Some might feel something easier, some might feel other things easier. So this is very important part, right? So now coming back again to the syllabus, next is hybrid. Word hybrid, you all are aware, the product of cross between two genetically different individuals belonging to either same genus or different, right? That is known as hybrid. And the process of formation of hybrids, that is termed as hybridization. So next word is hybridization, right? You all are aware now with this word. Next is mono hybrid cross. Various types of crosses are there. Mono means single, hybrid means there will be only one thing involved in the hybridization. A cross between two parents that are differing in only one pair. It is very important word. Differing in one pair of alternating characters. That is termed as mono hybrid cross. Here only single character is used. If you are taking height, then only height. Then no flower color. If you are taking flower color and height of the plant, then it will be, yes, dihybrid cross. So a cross between two parents that are differing in two pairs of alternating characters. See, many times students makes mistake. They write cross between two parents. Instead of here writing two, they write one parent. How one parent? No. Two different that are differing in one pair of alternating characters, right? We are taking two parent, then we are taking one single character, so then it will be monohybrid cross. If you are taking two pair of alternating characters, right, then it will be dihybrid cross. Di means two. Clear? Next, see, in this type, two contrasting characters are used. For example, seed shape and seed color. So shape is a different thing and color is a different thing. So here, what I told, please remember. Next is polyhybrid. Poly means more than two. Two, dihybrid, poly, more than two. So here you can easily understand that if we are taking 3, 4, 5 characters together in one single cross, I hope you all are getting what I am speaking. Two parents differing in more than two sets of alternating characters. So you can take height of the plant, seed color, seed shape, then branching. Yes, so you all can say or take such type of characters and perform the cross. So you will get at a time many results. Naturally, now see, this is important for you to understand. If you are growing a plant, right? So after, suppose if it is taking 15 days to grow, you just want to check one character. Suppose you are performing monohybrid cross, you want to check only the height of the plant. Then will you say that no, only height should increase in the plant and no flowering should be there, no seed formation should be there? No, of course it will be there, but what we have to check is just one character in monohybrid cross. If you are performing experiment on dihybrid cross, you cannot say to the pea plant that please plant, don't grow flowers, just grow the seeds. You are getting, if you are taking polyhybrid, then you have to check all the characters. So whenever you are performing live experiments, it is never such that only one thing is going to happen. Along with that one thing, various other things, series of reactions are taking place. So these things should be clear in your mind, right? If you are saying, if you are taking, suppose Mendel took pea plant, is it possible that only height of the plant, then no leaves will grow, only simple stem will grow? No, never such, right? So hope you are getting what I want to say. Next is the filial generation. What is filial generation? The first generation, the progeny obtained as a result of crossing between two parents, is a hybrid progeny, and it's called first filial generation, represented by F1. In second generation, that is F2. What is pure line? You all might be aware, it is the variety which is homozygous in condition, means true breeding varieties. We are always checking the true breeding varieties. Suppose there is already hybridization and then you are performing experiments, then you will not be able to get the true results. Next is reciprocal crosses. Reciprocal, word itself says reciprocal, you have to do a set of two reciprocal crosses, means that same two parents are used in two experiments. Over there in crosses, we are using just one experiment. Here we are doing two experiments. See, for example, cross between tall male and dwarf female, that is one. Now what will be the reciprocal cross between tall female and dwarf male? Are you getting what I want to say? See, now you understand. A set of two reciprocal crosses means that the same two parents are used in two experiments in such a way that in one cross, one individual is used as female and another is used as male, right? Hope you got this. Okay. The purpose of reciprocal crosses is to find out whether both parents are making equal contribution or not. So what is the ratio or percentage of their contribution can be checked through the reciprocal crosses. Next is back cross and test cross. You already studied in your school days. Back cross, that is cross between F1 hybrid with its own parents. Back cross is often used in genetics for the analysis of genetic constitution of the offsprings. You want to know what is the genetic constitution, then you have to perform the back cross. It is quick way to make desirable homozygous individual. And what is test cross? When the things are unknown, we are testing. The word test itself says, you all are aware, test, right? In this cross, individuals of an unknown genotype is crossed with homozygous recessive parents. This cross is made in order to determine the genotype of the unknown individual. A test cross is conducted to know whether an individual is homozygous or it is heterozygous for a dominant characters. So when you are crossing, you will come to know that whether it is homozygous or the heterozygous. So offsprings will be 100% dominant if the individual is homozygous, but the relation will be 50% and 50% recessive, dominant and recessive in case hybrid or heterozygous individual. Clear? Now with this, today I am ending my lecture over here. Hope you all are aware of the few concepts of the genetics, why all these things I have taught you, so that it will be easier for you to understand and learn the further topics. So please stay at home. Do not go outside if it is not necessary. Please take precautions. Start drinking Ayurvedic medicines, Ayurvedic drinks prepared at the home, right? Hope you all are liking this video. If you are having some queries and doubt, you can contact me, right? So with this, I am ending my lecture. Thank you.